Hi, beautiful people. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday to you. Big up the Empress. The Empress, big up yourself, Empress. Big up Pinky. Big up Christopher Jones. Them people who me a big up, them not into the political arena. You understand me? But them I'm a good link. Big up Brent. Big up Brent. Big up Everett. Big up Everett. Big up you. Big up yourself, youth. Big up every time. Stanley. Big up Stanley from down at Chilani, Braco. Big up him wife. Big up them people there. Them love 2 Grand TV dearly. Now, when you know something about politics, fancam, and that's something new, I'm going to repeat again. The dancehall fancam will be released next week. So Christopher Jones, you get back your fancam next week. No, this very serious. Because yesterday me telling us a minute have to be a labor right. But me a split a speed, where a speed supposed to split. Now the Integrity Commission release a special report. And the red flag in it will cause a bigger problem is normally when the IC make a report, what them do is they would have copied the House Speaker, they would have copied the leader of the House, no? Also, yeah? Tom Tavares, and they would have copied Juliet Holness, and they would have copied the clerk, I guess. But for some strange reason, the Deputy Speaker of the House has been copied on the file. That is not the norm, none at all. If you can go back to last year, when the South Trelawney lady was in charge, Marissa, when the IC sent a report, they copied the deputy that was Juliet Holness then. Okay. So you see from the table they go on, Marissa have resigned. Well, she resigned from the parliament and she resigned from our constituency, which we think she got to take up back. But Juliet Holness, which is the Prime Minister wife, where you know say most women in Jamaica don't like, because you don't know woman fight against woman, this is a red flag. There's a lot of discrepancy to this. So I'm going to make you listen to Emily Shields, where she can break it down for you more. If me broke it down, they're going to give you the ghetto talking. Me no need for the blah 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 and the wah 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 wah. I go for professional help. But there is something in the report where shows say the Prime Minister is supposed to be clear. I'm not sure again. Listen to Emily Shields. Listen, I'm going to play that clip here. You can tell what is going on. As me telling you, I'm going to listen to the bloggers them. Because they're going to run with hatred and they're going to say all type of things where really are just for them own opinion. So you can't fight them down. But me not interested in a for them opinion. I rather listen to Emily Shields' opinion. So people, listen what Emily Shields have to say. Then you comment down in the section. We all know, say, this is not the jump up channel. This is not the talk up channel. This is the dancehall channel. But election in the ear, I'm putting my 2 cents. So Emily, let me hear you.
Emily's views, her position on the issues, her point of view backed up by the facts. Here are Emily's views.
In the midst of all the happenings in this country, whether it's the announcement of resignation by a political representative with immediate effect, or the disclosure that a senator and minister resigned, or the announcement that a by-election is to be held in a seat after resignation by a sitting member of parliament in record time. By-election is to be held in record time. We must never forget that there is, as I was forced to think aloud yesterday, the unruly horse that seeks to throw its rider. In this instance, my reference to the unruly horse is to the Integrity Commission. Because ever so often in political life, as we watch the happenings in Jamaica, there are these releases that come out by the Integrity Commission with the minutest of detail on everything that is submitted to the Parliament, including the time at which reports submitted to the Parliament, the time at which the report is accepted as received by the Parliament. So yesterday, in the afternoon, we got a release here, was published on social media, where the Integrity Commission said, in keeping with its commitments previously made to the public, the Integrity Commission wishes to advise that it has today, that's yesterday, the 5th of September, submitted to Parliament for tabling a report of investigation and an associated indicative ruling and full ruling of the Director of Corruption Prosecution. And they further tell us a special report under Section 36(3) of the Integrity Commission Act that is associated with the investigation report has been submitted to the Parliament for tabling. The foregoing documentation was formally received and signed for at the Parliament at 11:42 a.m. today. Remember, we're talking yesterday. So instantly when I saw this, my head is working overtime, because I'm saying a special report. I've been calling for a special report to be tabled in Parliament for months concerning the inability so far of the Integrity Commission through its Director of Information and Complaints to verify the statutory declarations of the Prime Minister. And because a number of questions have been raised, and the Integrity Commission has been saying it can't speak because of the what they call the gag clause, which is not really a gag clause, I said lay a special report pursuant to Section 36(3) of the Integrity Commission Act and let us know what is going on, and then you can give us more information. So when I saw that special report, my antenna went up. Then now, continue reading. Hard copies of the investigation report were submitted in separate envelope under cover of identical letters addressed to the following officials: the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, the President of the Senate, and the Clerk to the Houses of Parliament. And this is how now my head started working overtime again. The Deputy Speaker? Why is the Deputy Speaker copied on a report of the Integrity Commission? Because in following these releases from the Integrity Commission, you make a mental note of how things come to give you an idea as to what may be contained in them even before tabling. The Deputy Speaker? Why are you copying the Deputy Speaker when you have copied the Speaker and in all of your previous releases? Except one. The Deputy Speaker is only copied when you are perhaps of the view that the Speaker needs to recuse herself or need not sit because there's a matter that she may or should consider that it's in the best interest of all to have an arm's length approach to this particular matter and therefore not sit. So that is why you're putting the Deputy Speaker on it. And I found support for this overworking of the brain in going back to all of its previous publications. And I note that the only other time a deputy speaker was copied on the lodging of reports to the Parliament was about September 11 of 2023. Not about September 11, 2023, when the report touched and concerned investigations around then Speaker Marissa Dalrymple Philibert. And the Deputy Speaker at the time was then Juliet Holness. She's now the Speaker, having taken over from Marissa Dalrymple Philibert. Yes. So, this particular publication, paragraph 4 of the release, gave me a lot of information about the subject of this investigation report. And I believe because I have reviewed previous publications, I believe that this investigation report pursuant to 36.3, the special report, that it relates to the Prime Minister's statutory declarations. And the reason they've copied the Deputy Speaker is because of the relationship of proximity between the Speaker and the Prime Minister. And it is certainly tidier. It's a better arm's length approach for her not to preside at the time when this report is to be tabled. So they've copied the Deputy Speaker on it. But more importantly, they have sent not only the indicative ruling, but they've sent the full ruling of the Director of Corruption Prosecution. That says a lot to me as well. The last time when they sent the report and copied the Deputy Speaker on it, which is the 11th of September 2023, they didn't send the full report of the Director of Corruption Prosecution. And they didn't send the report, they sent only the indicative ruling. And I believe they've said in the past that where the Director of Corruption Prosecution has determined that there should be a charge brought against the member, then they will not table the full report of the Director of Corruption Prosecution, because it can compromise matters subsequent. So if my reading of this is correct, a couple of things have happened, and only a matter of time we'll be able to get confirmation. And this is the funny thing about time now, because as far as I understand, Parliament is now on a break. Summer break is still on. And Parliament is to convene, I understand, the 3rd week of September. So there is at least another week and a half or so before Parliament convenes, unless for whatever reason they actually do bring a session for next week. So there'll be a lot of time for people to speculate, especially in the face of this by-election in Northeast St. Anne coming in. Yeah? So what might this be? It seems to me that firstly, the Director of Information and Complaints, whose responsibility it is to verify statutory declarations of the various individuals, in the course of verifying the statutory declaration of the Prime Minister, it appears that he found cause to refer the matter to the Director of Investigation. It appears he wasn't satisfied with some responses, so he referred the matter to the Director of Investigation. And having so referred, it seems to me as if the Director of Investigations has concluded that there is, in his view, enough for something to take place. But the ultimate responsibility, based on the law, in deciding whether an individual is to be charged or a charge can be made out, the Director of Corruption Prosecution reviews and rules, and her rulings are final. So it seems to me, despite whatever the findings are of the Director of Investigation, that the Director of Corruption Prosecution, in an indicative ruling, has said there's no basis on which to level any charge here. And I say this because they're sending an indicative ruling as well as the full ruling to the Parliament. And that is because they need to explain to the Parliament the proper basis for the indicative ruling. Yeah? And I'm only extrapolating these things based on what I consider to be a studied look at the form of the releases sent by the Integrity Commission over the years, and why it has now not departed from previous standards. I see the Gleaner has it as it's an alteration of the routine. I do not believe it's an alteration of the routine, because this particular move seems to be similar to the move that was taken. Not the move, the content of the release, i.e. the copying of the Deputy Speaker, is similar to the one on the 11th of September 2023, when the subject of the investigation at that time was the then Speaker of the House. So it's not really an alteration. And if I am correct in this, it seems to me that we can discern a lot from the releases, not only for this but for subsequent matters, especially where Parliament may not convene in the week immediately after the report is submitted. Yeah? I look forward to receiving and to amending my views if what I'm extrapolating may be the situation turns out not to be so. But you make sort of intelligent guesses about something, especially when they are so crucial. Yeah? But there's a high degree of sort of assessment that has gone into the view that I held. When I saw them put in, as I said, the full ruling of the Director of Corruption Prosecution, along with the indicative ruling, I said, okay. But this is also fascinating to me, if my theory is correct, because it has walked the similar road as the Dalrymple Philibert matter, in that it is during the course of verifying statutory declarations by the Director of Information and Complaints that this thing seemed to have been ratcheted up to an investigation. Yeah? So there are different ways in which the Integrity Commission can investigate matters, and the law does tell us that. One, people can call, people can write, people can find ways of communicating directly with the Integrity Commission. The Director of Information and Complaints can sift, and having sifted, the Director might say there is some merit in this particular complaint because we've done some prima facie investigations, and having done that, we will submit it to the Director of Investigation for an investigation. So an investigation can commence in that way. It can also commence, as did the Dalrymple Philibert matter, where the Director of Information and Complaints, in verifying the statutory declaration, is not satisfied with some information, then he refers, as the law says, the matter to the Director of Investigation. And it seems that this is what has happened in this instance. I have been saying you cannot take so long to verify the statutory declaration of any individual, let alone the Prime Minister. And because you claim that you cannot speak, the law gives you a 36(3), which allows you to submit a report to Parliament. And once you submit a report to Parliament, then you are ungagged if you believe you were gagged before. But what they have been doing, it appears, is launching the investigation based on the referral of the matter to the Director of Investigation by the Director of Information and Complaints. And having launched the investigation, the law prohibits them, as it does prohibit the investigatee from speaking. So it now culminates, or the next leg is the tabling of a report. But as I said, eager minds and eager brains can sift through the releases to figure what is the similarity in this one with previous ones, and if there are dissimilarities, why? Then the other thing is, Parliament, I'm told Parliament is to resume September 17. Today is the 6th. So that is when now? That is week after next week. You know, Integrity Commission, you have to time this thing better. You have to time the date when you submit your reports better, because why on earth are you submitting a report to Parliament when you should know that Parliament is on recess? And then tongues and minds start to go all over the place, as mine is, uncontrollably. The speculation is rife. If Parliament was to be convened next week Tuesday, I could understand the lodging of the report yesterday Thursday. So the parliamentarians can't say they never had time to review. Certainly the President nor the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker can't say they didn't have time to review. But why would you lodge a report? Put the release out there and Parliament has another 11 days before they convene. Time it better. Especially on such a crucial matter. People have been talking about the so-called illicit 6 elevated to illicit 8 for months. And every time there's a release from the Integrity Commission, people's skin catch fire. Anyway, like pregnancy, we will see. But this is my view on what is contained, what can be, what is possibly in the report because of the contents of the release by the Integrity Commission. We shall see. Only time will tell.